How's it going, people? We're back with another stream, this time a bit of a unique one, as I've seen a bunch of like video game ranking videos and, you know, mainly videos, most of them done on streams or stuff like that. So I was like, well, let's see what we can put together. So I was like, I'm gonna look at video games that I've played throughout my whole life, and I'm gonna rank them all. And we're gonna basically do our top 50 on this one. So that's kind of the plan. Yeah, the thumbnails kind of mushed together because I don't know, I didn't know what to pick as a thumbnail. I don't know if we might shorten this down into a full video or if we just gonna keep the VOD up. We'll have to see. But yeah, we're gonna jump in. We're gonna rank in my opinion, my top 50 games of all time that I personally played, right? That's the big important thing on this video is the fact that I need to have played the video game and finished the game, right? So this will be a good mix. We're gonna look at a couple of games from like my childhood, most likely. And then yeah, just some great games. As I said, there will be games in there where you're like, the fuck, why is this game in here, right? But there's just a lot of games where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is something that you know was a big part of my childhood or a special part of my life where I just spent a lot of time in one of those games. And we're gonna be looking at it. That's all we're gonna be doing on today's stream. I'm working away in the background on the next episode of the best RPG, so that's kind of happening in life. I'm back to work. Um, I look tired as hell, as you can maybe see. I've been having some mad sleeping issues, so also trying to get back into life and work, and then on this side, just do this channel, do my series, you know. But yeah, also obviously the episode is out for Divinity Original Sin, which has been doing decent for a small channel, right? Because we're talking about a small YouTube channel at the end of the day here. I don't know what we're looking at, but I always count my success when the video gets more views than we have subscribers. So I'm pretty happy with the video, and I don't know. I think we can get the ball rolling here with the best RPG. The next one's gonna be an odd one out. It's gonna be an interesting game to see um how much interest it will garner, that video. And also I'm thinking about changing around some of the thumbnails for those videos. Um Maybe to include the title as well of the game, because now we always have, the main, or like one of the main characters on the right and then the title on the left side. We'll see. Maybe I'll just add something in there. Maybe just make the title of the game and then the best RPG. I don't know. I thought about that as well. Like make it a black screen, have the best RPG on the left side, and then basically just the logo of the game on the right side. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's get into the list though now and see what we got. We're using Topster for this. Um, Seen this from good old Charlie, aka Moist Critical, right? Um, I've seen him do like a couple of videos about like that's mainly the main guy that I saw videos from, doing like a worst games list and like best games list and all that type of stuff. I don't know how long ago that was, by the way, but I actually don't know. Where is it? Didn't I like watch it yesterday? You know what I hate about YouTube is when you are like on your recommended page or whatever, and you hover on a video and you by accident, oh no, it's like a year ago or whatever. Um you hover on like a video and it starts playing it, and it'll show up in your like watched videos, and I'm like, dude, I mean technically you watched the video, but technically you don't. Anyways, top 50 games. So as I said, this will be, again, my personal opinion. There will be a lot of games in here which, you know, you obviously may not agree with. I think there's one sports game in here, and it's the only one, and it's because it's such a big part of my childhood. And we're actually going to start off with that. So that is going to be a wrestling game. And we're going to go for, let's see if we can find it, with SmackDown, just looking for SmackDown. So if you don't know, there it is, SmackDown versus Raw 2011, man. That is legitimately, I think, one of the best wrestling games. If I had like honorable mentions, if we went to maybe 100 games, when it comes to sport games, and especially wrestling games, you would also see me put in Shut Your Mouth and Here Comes the Pain on this list in terms of like the best wrestling games of all time. I think those are like the best ones, and I've played so many hours of this as a child. It's a bit annoying that my camera's kind of in the way. I don't know, maybe we'll move the cam to the side where we actually look at the games, maybe. Yeah, up here would be fine. Up here I'm not in the way at all. That's decent. Decent. Okay, next up, an odd pick. This is another game that I wouldn't consider like top 10 games or whatever, but dude, this game, this was so much fun. It's The Forest, if you guys remember that, the original, like the first one, not Sons of the Forest, but the first one. This was like my teenage-ish years. While I was still in school, me and one of my best friends, we would hop on like every weekend, and every like Friday and Saturday we'd play like till 2 a.m. or whatever. And it wasn't just The Forest. It was like we were playing like Counter-Strike, and The Forest was also a game we played a lot. And like last year I played the second game for the first time with another friend of mine. I didn't like it as much, but I think The Forest for me was like the first one that was that like survival simulation type game, and I thought it was so good and I enjoyed it so much. So next up on the list is another childhood favorite of mine. So the thing is, we're going for a Pokemon game here, and it's gonna be Pokemon Platinum. This is because that whole era, like Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, those are like my childhood Pokemon games, right? Um, Even though like I played Red as like a kid, Platinum and Diamond and Pearl, it was like when I was, a bit older, and, I had my own DS and everything. All my friends had, the Nintendo DS back in the day. And we were all just like playing together. We had sleepovers with the boys. We were all just grinding that Pokemon life on there. That's like, vivid childhood memories. And to me, Platinum, Diamond, and Pearl, um, are like the best Pokemon, like my favorite Pokemon games. Um, I gotta say, like again, Diamond and Pearl, they have the problems that Platinum kind of fixed. And as well, like I do like the remakes of Diamond and Pearl. I just wish it would have been Platinum like many others, but I don't hate it as much as most people do. Now you're already seeing there's a lot of personal input here. This isn't what I think is the top 50 games ever made, right? If it comes to to games in general. The top 50 best games ever created. This is not it. This is just a guy who's played video games for most of his life, ranking some of the games that he's played. And you will see with this list, the main reason that I wanted to do this is because we're like in the beginning phase of the best RPG series. There will be a lot of RPGs in this. Trust me. But yeah, you're gonna see some, but this will probably change. And depending on, whatever comes out in a year from now, we might be talking about a whole different top 50 list. Right, just to spoil you already, the first Divinity Original Sin didn't make it in. But maybe another game that has appeared in the best RPG series will make it in. But it's not the next one, since this right here is Saints Row. Saints Row the Third, to be specific. Another game that was so dominant in my teenage years. And if you know anything about me, you know that I have always been more of a Saints Row guy than a GTA kid. I've never really been the bigger fan, like the biggest fan of the GTA stuff. I love how ridiculous Saints Row the Third is. And in general, the Saints Row, series is a bit more unserious, and this was great. Saints Row the Third was so much fun. I'll be honest with you. And it's probably one of the games that I own on a lot of consoles. There's not that many games that I own on multiple consoles. It's like, the typical, it's the Skyrims, the Elden Rings, for example. But yeah, Saints Row, I literally own that on PC, I own it on PlayStation, I own it on Xbox. And like, I own the like remastered version or whatever that came out on like PS4, PS5, and the original that came out all the way back then on, I think it was back on PlayStation 3 that this game first came out. But it was so fun. The soundtrack was so cool. It's like the goofy action sequences of it. It's just, it was great back then, and I still enjoy it now, even though I think some of this stuff is kind of cringy nowadays, but it is what it is, and it's a great open world game. And what I love so much about this, not even like the gunplay, it's the melee attacks you can do, right? Because you see, you got SmackDown versus Raw on there, but like running up to vehicles and how you jump into them, or how you can, do wrestling moves when running at like enemies without using weapons, just using your hands. It's so funny. It was such a fun time back then, and still is. Now, next up is a bit of a controversial one, and that is Fallout 4. To me, Fallout 4, when it first came out, I really, really enjoyed it. And for me, Fallout 4, it's not even the gameplay, the RPG aspect of the gameplay that carried it so much. It's the base building. I do actually like the world of Fallout 4, and there's going to be a controversial Fallout take in here for most people. But yeah, the base building completely and utterly carried the game for me. And I spent so much time that I played this game, I've spent so much time just doing base building. It was great. It was great. I'm not gonna complain. Next up, we have another childhood classic. We're gonna go into some Star Wars now. And let's see if I can find it, or if I have to specifically look. There's a Lego Star Wars 2 mobile version. Interesting. Okay, yeah, we are gonna have to look for it on its own, and that is Battlefront 2, the original Battlefront 2. Big part of my childhood, playing this with friends. It was so fun. I remember like I had it on PC at home, but one like my best friend had it on, or his brother had it on PS2, and like playing PS2 split screen, that was like such a big part of my childhood as well. And I'm a big Star Wars guy as well. So you'll see a couple of Star Wars games on here, like almost every single one. I'm gonna drink a quick sip and then we'll move on to the next game, which is also a Star Wars game, believe it or not. This is, in my opinion, I mean, by people who know the franchise, this is probably one of the most rated games. But to me, it's underrated in the cosmos of video games. But I think this is really specifically a Star Wars fan game. Most Star Wars fans will agree with me on this one that Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith is like one of the best Star Wars games out there. We're talking obviously the like console version because there's multiple ones. I also played the Nintendo DS version of the game a bunch and I thought that was also really fun, but nothing beats this game on PS2, man. And I'm still mad to this day that my parents back in the day they made me sell this game, right? Because my parents were always like that. They always made me, excuse me, they always made me sell games when I wanted new games. And this is one of the few games that stands out to me in the Star Wars, like, sorry, in the PS2 era. This is one of the few games that I remember from my childhood that I enjoyed so much. And it's still great nowadays if you have it as a physical copy. Okay, oh, I did kind of do a switcheroo. This was actually supposed to go here. Whoops. The next one is actually a Marvel game. No, we're not getting out of the Disney. This was such an underrated jam. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was such a cool game. And like it came out of nowhere as well. And it was like after the Avengers game released, which was hot garbage. And I thought this was like up there in terms of Marvel games. Again, there will also be a couple of Marvel games present on this list, especially the next one. After Star Wars Episode 3, we have another absolute classic, and that is the. Oh, yeah, you can't see me typing, but you will see it as soon as I type it in. There we go, Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Dude, I still have the original. So this is, by the way, the original out of the 3. I have played the first 2. I started playing the third one a couple of times, but never got out of like the first area because I always like stop playing because it's like a Switch exclusive and it has the flaws that comes with a Switch exclusive, right? It feels like it feels like it looks, it does look like it's not a big improvement to the second one. The second one I don't, by the way, like as much as the first one. It has some cool aspects to it, but the second one is just way shorter. And I think, if I remember correctly, there are some characters taken out of the second one that I really liked in the first one. I think they took out Moon Knight, the bastards. And Moon Knight, if you guys didn't know, is my favorite superhero. I guess you can call him a superhero. Depends on which personality. But yeah, that was up there. Speaking of superhero games that I find absolutely amazing. Another one. Infamous, dude. Such an underrated game. I think it might have been a PS4 release title, if I remember correct. But Infamous Second Son, man, I platinumed it back in the day. And it was so good. It was so good with all of the different powers. I thought it was so much fun to play. Great world. Not too big of a fan of the characters, but it was just really, really fun. I don't think it hits the highs of the first two games, but I still wish we would get like a sequel to Infamous, or we'll get a like a remake, right? Or a remaster of the first, well, of all three of them, including obviously the DLCs, because I think, if I remember correctly, there was First Light for Second Son, basically. I guess First Light was supposed to be some kind of standalone, but then there was Infamous 2, which had that vampire DLC. I don't remember the name exactly, but I would love to do, or love to get like an Infamous trilogy as like a revamped, remade content, remake, remaster, whatever you like. Okay, next up on the list, so that would make it number, is that 39, right? So this is 10 per row, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 50, and it's 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41. So 40. 40 is another Battlefront, and that is Star Wars Battlefront 2, the EA one. Specifically this one, the Celebration Edition, which is the one that unlocked like all of the skins and everything. I spent a lot of time on this as well, specifically during COVID, because at some point during COVID, this was actually a free game on PC. So I had it on PlayStation originally, and then on PC. And dude, we used during like school time, because we'd had like school from home because of COVID, and we would always, during like the breaks, we would play a match of Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like me and some people from my class, we would, again, because it was free, we would jump onto some Star Wars Battlefront. It was legit so fun. And again, I prefer it over Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original. I think Star Wars Battlefront 2 OG has some cool, like some other cool things. Like the amount of maps could have been maybe a bit more on the new one, on the EA one. But all in all, like, you know, character choice could have been a bit better. But gameplay wise, graphics wise, this game was just stunning. And what I like the most personally is that Star Wars Battlefront 2 EA is a first person shooter if you're playing as a troop. Like if you're a stormtrooper, rebel, whatever, you're a normal dude, you're in first person. And on the OG, you were like almost always, I think, in third person. If I remember correctly. There might be like a couple of weapons where you actually go into first person, but most of the time you were just playing third person, and I prefer the first person look at the game so much more. So the next one, next space, which will be 39, is taken by the first Rockstar game on this list. And I've said it before, I'm not a big fan of GTA, but there's another franchise they have. Well, there's one game they dropped, and that is this one, LA Noire. What you know about LA Noire? I'm a big fan of like detective-y games, and you know, detective parts in games. Doesn't have to be a full detective game, but LA Noire to me is cool. I remember getting this, man. I had to like get my dad to buy it for me. And this was, dude, I don't know how old I was, but I was like begging him to get it for me because I wasn't allowed to buy like the GTA games, right? Because if you know, we have a different age rating over here, And like all of the GTA games are basically like 18 plus, whereas LA Noire was, I think, 16. It was 16 plus. And my dad was always like, is he allowed to play these games? And I was honestly surprised that he let me get this, but it was so cool. I just love the detective stuff in this. I'm not a big fan of the ending of the base game, but all in all, it is a game that is outdated nowadays. But back in the day, man, like some of the mechanics, obviously, the most known mechanic is like, you know, the faces reacting and how over the top they are nowadays. Um, but back in the day, it was a really cool thing, and it's one of my favorite games. And I haven't replayed it in a while, but I would absolutely love to replay it at some point. So back to back Rockstar games. We're going for our first GTA. We're going for our first GTA. And our only one, because there's only one GTA game I like, and that is GTA Vice City. Now, hear me out. I have played GTA 5. I own it on PC. I own it on PlayStation 3. I own it on PlayStation 4. You know, all those remastered versions, whatever they were. Or improved versions, you know, console improved versions. But there's just something about Vice City. It's the vibe, it's the music, dude. Vice City has just it's my soundtrack, right? And you guys might know I'm a bit of a music lover. Um, I mean, I literally have the Toto vinyl sitting up in my living room here, or in this office living room, whatever you want to call it. Which obviously has Africa on it, which is this soundtrack. And it is actually in this game that I heard that song for the first time. And Vice City, just the vibes, everything, the cars, I love it. And I'm excited to see what 6 is like. But the thing is, I think 6 will not hype me as much because it's not set in the same like time period as Vice City is, which is obviously the 80s. That's peak GTA for me. I know people love San Andreas. Um, and if we would have extended this to 100 games, GTA 5 and San Andreas would also be on this list. GTA 3 not, because I don't like GTA 3. Which is a common thing that I don't like threes. Just as a little bit of a heads up for you. Turns out I don't like GTA 3 or any. There's a lot of threes that I don't like. But also, like, if I look at some of these, man, like GTA 4, I never really fully played, actually. But yeah, GTA 5, as I said, I loved it when I first played it, and ever since then, I was like, eh. I can play, like, GTA Online maybe for 2-3 days, and then I'll get bored. If even that, if I even make it through a full day of playing it. I don't know. It is what it is. Next up, this will probably confuse a lot of people, but it is Skyrim that is next up. Why is Skyrim all the way down here? Because I think it's a shallow experience without mods. I've said it before, I have grown to dislike Bethesda games, specifically Bethesda RPGs, over the last couple of years. And I think Skyrim does not do it for me anymore. If it's modded, if I just add a bunch of mods, then we'll be talking about a game that I do enjoy, but you know, that I can enjoy a new playthrough of. But for me, there's people that have like the yearly replay of Skyrim or something, but I just couldn't. I couldn't. I don't enjoy it as much to do that. speaking of the problem that I just talked about, the Bethesda problem, me starting to not enjoy the Bethesda type of RPG, we have Oblivion next, which is, I like Oblivion more than Skyrim. I will die on the hill that Oblivion is better than Skyrim. Mainly because I like the world more. It's not as depressing. Like Skyrim is like full on 2010s with how like gray and brown and just boring it looks almost. And then you have Oblivion, which is so colorful and it's so fun, and the quests are more unique. And there are things, I've said it before when we were playing Oblivion's remaster for the best RPG. I gotta take my hat off, man. When we were playing it for the series. Hey Jason, welcome to the stream, my dude. How's it going? I miss you too. You know, I've seen you on the Discord a couple of times here and there. But yeah, Oblivion is what it is, man. It's still one of the greatest games for me. I mean, it's in my top 50 of games. How's my day though? I mean, I've had work, and then I was like, I'm gonna do this video now that I've been, well, video slash stream, I guess, that I've been thinking about doing for a couple of days now. And here we are, ranking the top 50 games that I have personally played. Is it top 50 from rank 1 or random? No, it is from top to bottom. So this is 1, and this down here is 50. We'll be starting down here and then going up to number 1. And as I said, it's games that I've played personally, and like the bottom tier is just a lot of childhood nostalgic games for me that I had to include in here. But like I realized while researching for this video, I played a lot of trash games. I was like, dude, I've played so many games in my life, and then I realized I played way too much like FIFA every year, and I didn't play a lot of other games across those years, so there will be some like classics that I will miss, or there's like games that people rank so highly that I just don't personally enjoy that much. But yeah, we'll continue on with the list now, which is next game is an Arkham game, Batman Arkham game, believe it or not, and it is actually, where is it? There we go. It is Arkham Asylum. Not my favorite out of the Arkham games, which is already a little bit of a spoiler for you there. But yeah, it's really good. I think it was so good, and it's another one that was so special in my childhood. Freaking scary at times as well. Obviously, like one of the better Batman games. Like when it comes to Batman, it doesn't get better than the Arkham games, let's be honest. None of the games that came before or after have been able to do Batman, like the Arkham series. It's a great game, but not as good as another title in this series. Next up, this is wild. This is gonna be a wild take. We're going Assassin's Creed. Now I'ma let you hit up chat and see what chat's gonna be saying. What is going to be the next game on this list when it comes to Assassin's Creed? Because I honestly don't think you'd even see this coming, right? See, I have a really weird order when it comes to Assassin's Creed. There are 3 Assassin's Creed that I actually like. They're going to be on this list in the exact order they came out in. Which is weird because most people will say the first one is the best out of those 3. But to me, it is this exact order. It's Assassin's Creed 2, followed up, believe it or not, by Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, followed up by my favorite out of the whole trilogy, which is Assassin's Creed Revelations. It's this right here is personal preference. It is just Old Man Ezio that I thought was so cool. Dude, I remember the hype for this game when the first trailer came out, man. I was so stoked, and I love the old school, like the old look. Not the old school, but the old man Ezio look. Even like his assassin outfit here, it's just peak. It's just peak. Like, I like the Italy setting of these two. And I think Brotherhood, I like the story more of Brotherhood over Assassin's Creed 2. And I like the whole Brotherhood aspect of it as well. Which obviously is also in Revelations. But Revelations also, like, I remember playing the multiplayer. Which is weird to say when talking about an Assassin's Creed game. But I just love how they wrapped up the story, and then like the real world ending kind of happens. It's kind of meh. But for me, those 3 games are like peak Assassin's Creed, and then it fell off. Okay, let us get into the last game of the 30s. This is game number 31 on my top 50 games. Let's get it. We're going back to Star Wars. So what are we saying? Number 31, what would be my favorite Star Wars game? Well, not my favorite, but number 31. It has to be this one. Star Wars The Force Unleashed. It's such a great Star Wars game. Not the best. We'll get to that eventually. It'll be here in a bit. It's gonna take a while. But yeah, man, Star Wars The Force Unleashed, man. It was so fun, the original one. I played this on PC and on the Wii back in the day. And I remember the Wii as well had, similar to Star Wars Episode 3, the movie tie-in game, it had a what's it called, a like battle mode, I guess, where you could fight against like different Jedi and have like battles with your friends. I thought it was so fun on the Wii and on, PC, and I loved like playing as all of the other characters, using the skins you could get, changing your lightsaber around, and just the Force powers felt like you're literally a Jedi. It was so great. Now off to a game that a lot of people will forget. This one, if you know, you know. This is a well-known game, but still at the same time, people will forget about it a lot of the time, most of the time. And it is this one. It's the first Dishonored game. I did not play the second one too much. The first Dishonored game is so great, and this is like peak. It's probably the only game that's like a game where you have to sneak around. It's like the only stealth game on this whole list. And that shows you how much I adored it. it's so great with your powers and how you can build your character and what you can do, and how you can kind of change your play style, and then that kind of affects your story depending on if you kill everything or if you manage to kill no one. You get like different endings, and I think it's so cool. And I remember we were at the Gamescom that this got announced at, so that must have been like either the 2013 or 2014 Gamescom. And I remember we got like a cardboard cutout of the mask somewhere at the Gamescom. And I had it for years and I never knew what the game was. I just had this mask, and then I played the game a couple of years later and I was like, oh wait, I know this mask. I had this. But yeah, next up on the list, another childhood classic for me. It's probably the only, no, it's not the only 3 you will see on this list. There's a couple of other ones, but this is Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. Would have been a perfect end for the Uncharted trilogy for me, and then they did the 4th one. And I can already tell you, if again we're doing a top 100, 2 would be on the list. I think 3 is better than 2 for personal reasons. And I think 4 would also make the top 100. I don't know about the first one, because I'm not that big of a fan of the first one. Anyways, Uncharted 3 had this really fun multiplayer mode that I always played with my friends back after, like, we went home from school, and when we were not like out and skating, we would play Uncharted 3's multiplayer mode. And fun fact, Uncharted 3 was also the first game I ever pre-ordered at my local store. That's the first game I ever pre-ordered at my local store. Back when I had to go to the store and like pre-order it, and, instead of ordering it online or just buying it in a shop so I could play it at midnight. And I remember Uncharted 3, I played, like, because I pre-ordered it, I got it like a couple of days before. And it was so fun. It was so fun. And then again, like hopping onto the multiplayer with some friends. I mean, there was like a player versus player multiplayer, and then there was a PvE multiplayer. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but the like remastered versions don't have it anymore. But it was like, if I remember correctly, it was also like a wave, survive enemy waves type of shooter, and then like they drop weapons. But I don't remember too much of it. I just remember us sitting there and like playing it up and down. I remember we would do like tournaments to see who would survive like longer. Like we'd make teams of 2 and see who would survive longer. It was just great. It was great. OG games, yeah, there's some real OGs in here. I think, no, they're not the last ones. This one, hot take. There's a video out on my channel talking about the top games I played during 2022, which was when I was still doing the platinum videos, and Marvel Midnight Suns. I had never played a game like this one, because this is like a card-based game. Well, not a card collector, but the combat is like based on like cards and stuff. It's like a turn-based RPG technically, but with cards. This was so good. And then like you would hang out with like your team at the house, like the home base. You could talk to them, like get your relationship levels up and stuff. And they had some characters in there that aren't like your typical ones. Like sure, you have Iron Man in there, but there were also, some newer ones. And I thought this was one of my games of the year of 2022. And it is such an underrated game. So good, so good. You just have to, it's one of the games where you just have to get into it first, and you have to be like, okay, I'm gonna get into this. You know, you have to almost convince yourself to try it out. Next up, we've got some big hitters. God of War 2018. Don't have to talk too much about it. Um, Again, if this was a top 100, its sequel, Ragnarok, would get in here. I just don't like Ragnarok as much as the original. I think God of War Ragnarok, they kind of did a bit too much for me, and I just prefer the first one over it. Next up, we have another PlayStation exclusive. This is obviously the Marvel Spider-Man game. Same case here. They tried doing a bit too much with the second one, in my opinion, and the first one, just emotionally in the story, it hits some crazy highs that the sequel could not hit. And Spider-Man PS4 is my favorite one. You've played the first one, you try Ragnarok some other time, yeah. I mean, you should. You should. It's not a bad game at all. Like I'm saying, if it was top 100, Ragnarok would be on there. But I just didn't enjoy it that much personally. Next up, we have another superhero game, and we're going back to Batman Arkham. This time we're going back to Arkham City. I still have the version of the game, like the PS3 version of the game for this. I actually checked and I still have it. It's like this steel book that I have. And dude, I played the living hell out of this back in whenever this was. Must have been like 2012, 13 that I played it for the first time. Yeah. This was my everything. This was my everything. It's the perfect Batman game for me. And I'd say out of like the DC and Marvel sphere, out of like mainstream superhero sphere, this is my favorite game. This is my favorite superhero game. Unless I forgot something, but that is up there. Now something that will probably surprise some people that it's in here. It's Like a Dragon. It's the first Like a Dragon, the one that's still Yakuza. Yakuza Like a Dragon. Such a great goofy RPG. This took me a while to beat actually, because I played it over a couple of years. I don't remember even why I stopped. There must have been like some other game that released that I played in between. But dude, Yakuza Like a Dragon is so goated. And again, this is another case. If we had the top 100, now I have not actually played the games that came after this. So I haven't played the Pirate Yakuza game. I haven't played Infinite Wealth. And I also didn't play, the Ishin game I didn't play. And I also didn't play the mainline Yakuza games outside of the first one. And the first one would also be in the top 100. So Yakuza Kiwami 1, which is the remake of Yakuza 1. But I own the whole series. Like I have Yakuza Kiwami 2, 0 I have 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I have all of the Yakuza games. Not the Like a Dragon games, I don't. But all of the ones before that, I do actually have. I own them, but I have not played them. I just don't have or I didn't have the time. Because there's still like, what, 100-hour plus games. Let's talk about another great RPG, shall we? Let's talk about some KOTOR. With Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. This would be way higher on the list if it wasn't... Well, it wasn't in development hell, but it was rushed and it's missing some parts and it's missing some polish. and it would have been way better. It would have been like easy top 10 if it had more time in the oven, but still it is such a great RPG and such a great Star Wars game in my opinion. And I think it's one of the best ones. It's like must play. It's also like such a big part of my childhood, those games, the KOTOR games. Okay, next up we have another big RPG series with surprisingly the third game in the franchise, and that is The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I don't know, is the Platinum Hunt maybe still on the channel? I know I've taken down most of the Platinum Hunt videos because of how old they are. And I don't... What? I'm sure? What am I sure about? The Witcher 3 being this far down at... What is it? 21? 22. It's 22. But yeah, most of the best RPG videos I did actually take down because I just hate seeing them. You ever look back on videos of yourself and you're like, God damn it, what the hell? That is basically me with the Witcher, or like, not the Witcher, but all of the old school Platinum Hunt videos. That is a good game, yeah? This is like top 50 games of all time, for me personally. And it's at 21. 22, sorry. Because for me, 21 will be another Star Wars game, and I've got these games, I've got these back to back. So first one we got is you must try my top 10. We'll see about that. We have Star Wars Jedi Survivor followed by Jedi Fallen Order, which I think are some of the literally the best modern day Star Wars games. Now, Jedi Survivor had some issues at launch, and I played it at launch. I haven't played it since, and I think, again, narrative-wise, it goes bigger than the first one, and I like it more condensed in the first one, but these two have a great story, and obviously they build up on each other, they're connected to each other, they're great. They're so great in my opinion. Next up at 19, we have an absolute classic, or I should say a remake of an absolute classic, and that is the remake of Resident Evil 4. The OG Resident Evil 4 is cool, but I love the remake. It's like a great modern version of Resident Evil 4. Taking it from, from the original and changing up some things so it's kind of fit for a modern audience. And I think Resident Evil 4 is so cool. It's not the only Resident Evil game in this in the list, I can already tell you. Once we have all of them in, I can tell you which ones would have made it into the top 100 if we went all the way down to 100. Next up is another one of my favorite franchises when it comes to RPGs. We have Persona 3, and specifically the Reload, the remake again. It's such a great game. This I would say is up there in the Persona stories. Like to me the best Persona games story wise are like 3, 4, and 5. They have great stories. I'm waiting for the remake of the 4th one. It's not going to be on this list. So is Persona 4 Golden isn't also not going to be on this list. Because I didn't play it yet. I have started playing it a couple of times. I like own it on PlayStation, PC, and on Nintendo Switch, but I never actually got around to finishing the game. But here's the deal, right? I know that there's a remake coming out, so I keep telling myself I'm just waiting for the remake. And I will. And then I'll beat Persona 4. Just to let you know. Yeah, this is gonna be great. The one and only Mass Effect 2, absolutely legendary RPG. I dare anyone to say anything different. Mass Effect 2 to me is just special. It's the best out of the trilogy. It's the only one on this list. Mass Effect 1 would make it into the top 100. Mass Effect 3 can go and do whatever. I hate the switch up in Mass Effect 3. I do not like it. I don't like how they changed up the game. Next up, we are picking Dark Souls 1. Which to me, I'm specifically picking the remastered. I think Dark Souls 1 is great. It has the second half drop off, but this is, to me, Dark Souls 1 is like the cozy game, which sounds insane, but if you're deep into like Souls-likes, you know that at some point when you've played so many Souls games that they almost become like, you know, your comfort games. And Dark Souls 1 just has the best vibe out of them all for me. And I'll be honest with you, I think if we did top 100, obviously the third one would be on this list. I don't know about the second one. I need to replay Dark Souls 2 at some point. I just didn't like it that much. So this is gonna be the one, this next one. 100% no one would have predicted this game would show up on a top 50 list that I'm doing. But if I tell you, this game is flipping great. This is one of my most underrated games ever, I think. It's so underrated. And we have the third game on this list, so we're gonna add the second one too, and that is Saints Row 2. Hear me out. Saints Row 2, for me personally, goes over any GTA game. I love Saints Row 2. It is such a great game. It's like, I recommend guys that, you know, you should check it out. But the thing is, if I remember correctly, so I played this on PS3 because this was part of PlayStation Plus. But if I remember correctly, the PC version of the game is actually really bad, like performance-wise. But yeah, dude, this on PS3, this was so fun. You don't even know the game? Dude. You missed out. Saints Row 2 is great. It's great. But it's not as great as, once again, a great franchise of RPGs that is only represented by one, because one of the other games would make it into the top 100, and that will be Inquisition that would make it into the top 100. I did not like Dragon Age 2 that much. But Dragon Age Origins is just top of the top RPGs for me. And yeah, it had to go here. It had to be number 14. Some people would probably have it in the top 10. I mean, if it was just RPGs, this will easily be in the top 10. Even though, no, legitimately, I just realized, even if it was just top 10 RPGs, Dragon Age Origins wouldn't even make it into the top 10. Because my top 10 games of all time are literally all just RPGs. Every single game is an RPG. Oh god. Alright, next up, we have another game that has appeared on this list before, and that is Infamous 2. We have Infamous Second Son down here. Infamous 2, way better. Way better, so good. Another childhood game. I like the electricity power more than what's his first one. It's like smoke, and then he can do rocks and whatever he can do. Dude, Infamous 2 was so wild, and it's such a campy story. Whereas this is so campy, the story of the first two Infamous games, whereas the Second Son story is more like, you know, down to earth, or as down to earth as a superhero game can be. But Infamous 2, man, that was so good. It was so fun. It was so good. Still remember getting it because we were, like, me and my friend back in school, we used to watch like a Let's Play of this back when Let's Plays were actually a thing. And we were like, we want to get this. And I had to, like, once again, get my dad to be like, oh yeah, you can play this. Because he was like, yeah, there's no shooter. You're playing a superhero. You know, you can, it's like whatever, 16, I think it was the age rating. Such a good game. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a remake of the first one and the second one. And to no one's surprise, the first one won't be on this list. It would make it into the top 100 though, for sure. Next up, we have Resident Evil. Which one? You might ask yourself. The remake of the second one. Oh, I just realized. The top 10 isn't all RPGs. Resident Evil 2, I think, is great. The remake, I got the platinum on it. I played through this game so many times. This was, well, it wasn't my get back into Resident Evil, but this was like obviously the one that started all of the remasters of the games. It's just great. It's just great. Resident Evil is so good. So good. What else do we have next? You're curious now. What you know about this utter banger? Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. Still one of the best Star Wars lightsaber combat games. This game has a mod for it, which is well known across the internet. It's I think it's called Movie Battles, and it's a mod that has like all of the different battles from the movies. Like you can play as all of the characters, but the game on its own is so fun. It's so fun. The amount of times I've played through Jedi Academy in my lifetime is so fun. The combat is so satisfying. The lightsaber combat, the force powers as well. The force powers aren't as good as in the Force Unleashed. Don't get me wrong, but the lightsaber combat is so great. And especially if you turn on realistic lightsaber combat, if you know, you know, that basically makes the lightsaber act like a real lightsaber would act. Like you can cut your enemies in half without even doing an attack, because you know, you just have the lightsaber move in that direction and it'll cut off their arm or whatever. You know, whatever body part it touches. It's so great. Yeah, mods make this even greater. Like specifically the movie battles is great on Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. It is so great on there. There's a couple of games on this list that get even better when using mods on them. You know, it's Fallout 4, it's Oblivion, Skyrim that get greater when you put mods on those. You know, again, it's just the one that's really good for that. Star Wars Battlefront, the original as well, had some crazy good mods, like adding new characters, adding new maps, and all that type of stuff. But yeah, most of these were actual like console games up until the next couple of games. So I'm gonna let you guess. I'm gonna let you guess what number 10 is. Chat. Let me know what you think number 10 will be. It's the last game. I'll tell you, it's the last game that is not an RPG. It's the last game that's not an RPG. Console games, yeah, most of these are console games. The ones that I didn't play on console is Jedi Knight, it's Dragon Age, Mass Effect. Force Unleashed, I played on console and PC. Oblivion, Skyrim, I played on PC. GTA Vice City, played on PC. Battlefront 2, played on PC. Battlefront 2, played on PC. Fallout 4, PC. Saints Row the Third, PC. The Forest on PC. Yeah. You can't guess nothing. Well, we're going to Biohazard for number 10. My favorite out of the Resident Evil games. I can probably play Resident Evil 7 in my sleep at this point. I haven't played it in what? Dude, the last time I played it I wasn't living alone, so that's like 3 years ago. It's like 3 or 4 years ago was the last time that I touched Resident Evil 7. But I can probably still play it in my sleep and beat it in like, I don't know, what's like the fastest time you can get in Resident Evil 7? There's a trophy for that. For like how fast you can beat it. I think it's under 4 hours is the trophy. I'm gonna check real quick. Because I know I have it. Because I know I have the platinum trophy. That's Resident Evil 4. By the way, I've thought about this for a stream. I haven't played Requiem just yet. But I really want to play Resident Evil Requiem. And I thought about doing it on stream eventually. Then I can like work on the... Wait, this is 2, that's 3. Where is 7? Because 7 is such a goofy game when it comes to the platinum. I was like, I'm gonna take like 4 years of my time to do this. Yeah. Complete the game within 4 hours, yeah. Leon looks like you now. Oh, a little bit, maybe. It's always the Resident Evil season. I grow up my hair to look like Leon. And then I grow it out too much so I don't look like it anymore. Yeah. We'll eventually play it. We'll play Requiem and then I can, you know, play the game that I do for best RPG off of stream. That's kind of been my plan. So if you know me, you know the next ones are quite predictable games. I mean, this next one, probably not. Because I don't know if you know that I rate this game so highly. If I could only type. And that's Cyberpunk 2077. Flawed at launch, over time became great. I haven't played it since Phantom Liberty. I played it before Phantom Liberty, and I think there might be some changes here once I play the game again with the Phantom Liberty DLC and everything they changed about the game. But even when I played it back then, I thought this was one of the best games I played. I think it must have also been in 2022, so it might have been part of that video, but I'm not sure. It might have been later than that. Don't hold me. Don't hold me on that. But yeah, this is gonna be a revisit eventually for the best RPG. It was gonna take a while until we do that. Next up, absolute flippin' classic, Bloodborne. It's another game I have in this room displayed. Bloodborne is just great. Is it the best out of the Souls-likes? For me personally, not. There's actually one that I like more that is also a Souls-like coming up next, which is Lies of P. Lies of P has the best story when it comes to Souls-like and Souls-likes, in my opinion. It's not going to be the last Souls-like we're going to be seeing on this list, obviously, but I prefer it over Bloodborne. I think Bloodborne is great. I think Lies of P is even greater. So where are we at? That's 10, 9, 8, 7. So we got 6. Let's go back to Persona with Persona 5 Royal. We have Persona 3 Reload here. We have Persona 5 Royal there. This was my first Persona game, and is Persona really good? You've never played it. I think it's good. You can romance your teacher. So that's something. It's goofy sometimes. But story-wise, yeah, it's like it's a fun game. Basically like Pokemon, but not really. I don't even know how to describe a Persona game. But it's like a coming of age story somewhat, but also not really. Because you're like playing school, like a school student. You've got like your school stuff you have to do, and then you have the afternoon, and then you can focus your afternoon on basically either doing activities, building up your friendship with friends, or like hanging out with people, going to stores. Or you can spend your time taking on the evil, and you have like a time limit. In that time you need to beat like the evil, and if you don't, you failed, and it takes you back. I don't know if it takes you back to the start of the month. It's been a while since I played the 5th one. As I said, the like most recent was the remake of the 3rd one. But it is really cool. It is really cool. It's another case of a game that's going to be in the video of games that I'm never going to play again. Because Persona 5 Royal takes like 100 hours plus to beat. And that's even because you can like fast forward dialogue and everything and make it go fast. Even then, it just takes so long to get through this game. And as much as I love it, and I love all of the characters in the game, it just takes too long. It takes too long. But yeah, some things might change here once the remake of the 4th one is out. That's why I'm saying, like, I love seeing this now and what this is going to be eventually when the whole Best RPG series has gone on for like a year and we've played a couple of RPGs. Some other new games came out. As I said, we'll play Resident Evil Requiem as well, and check that one out. Talking about Resident Evils though, if this was a top 100, Village would be on here. I like the 3rd one, the remake of the 3rd one, but I just see the remake of the 3rd one as a DLC for Resident Evil 2. Speaking of number 3s in franchise, the next game on this list will be a number 3 of a franchise. And it's my top 5 favorite games now that I've played to this point. This one Now, I always keep mentioning the same games when it comes down to my top 5. These are all RPGs. It doesn't matter if we're talking best RPGs, if we're talking about best games I've played of all time. I love RPGs too much. It's gotta be Baldur's Gate 3. I didn't know what to expect when going into this game because I have never played an RPG of this type. And it was great. And I can't wait because I do want to revisit it for the best RPG. And I can't wait to replay it because I'm going to be playing it on PC because the first time around I played it on PlayStation. And I just want to get the full PC experience. And fun fact, Baldur's Gate 3 is the reason that I bought my new PC. Yep. And for editing videos because my older PC struggled when I was doing like the best RPG videos because they took a bit longer sometimes, for example, the Claire Obscure video. Remember Claire Obscure? It's not the next game on the list. Shut out, guys. Next game on the list is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1. You know when Knights of the Old Republic 2 was on this list, that the first one had to be on here as well. This is a flippin' classic. If you love Star Wars and you've never played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, you've never played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, you do not love Star Wars. That is a fact. That is a fact. Did I hit the mic? Maybe I did. You only played Star Wars Lego. Dude, don't let yourself get any spoilers for this game. Just whatever console you have, because Knights of the Old Republic you can actually play on Switch. Because this game is like, at this point it's like 23 years old. I think it came out in like either 2002 or 2003, maybe 4. Dude, do not get any spoilers for this game. Just play it. It is one of the best RPGs with one of the best stories. Because you know what? There's one game that had a better story. A game that has a video on this channel that goes for almost 5 hours. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Last year's Game of the Year, won the BAFTA this year. There is simply, and in the last years, this is one of the best games. For sure. The Obscure Expedition 33 is so good. And it got a 5 out of 5 on the best RPG scale. And I mean, it's obvious why it's on this list. It just had to be here. That is a fact. It had to be here. Now, you might ask yourself, Nick, you love Claire Obscure. It's one of the best games ever. And there's 2 more spots. What could be the final spots of my top 50 games of all time? One of them is a mystery. The other one isn't. So Jason, you got a 50-50 chance. What is the one that is obvious? And there's one game that is part of a franchise that is already on this list. As I said, no way I'm putting it second. Well, let us take a little bit of a trip to the place that hosted WrestleMania this year for my second favorite game of all time ever. Do we have a proper one? There it is. Fallout New Vegas. Everyone knows I love Fallout New Vegas. Fun fact, I actually did play this on stream a couple of years ago. It might have actually been when I first got the PC that I streamed on before. It was because I wanted to stream Fallout New Vegas. And then I got the new PC. I think it was because of that. But that's, yeah. This was my unbeaten number one until some Japanese company decided, you know, we are going to make a banger of an RPG. It's not like there's already a couple of their games on this list. There's this little game, this little indie game that I have about like 600 hours or so. And that is my number one game is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? We all know that it's fucking Elden Ring. Oh, of course it's Elden Ring. What else would be my favorite game? Rosette card. My Elden Ring is by far my favorite game. Just because of replayability. Do I think the story's great? Nah, it's freaking... There's no story in this game. It's just about cool gameplay. And satisfying gameplay and cool weapons that you can use. It's the build variety. It's all you can do in this game. All the things you can do. I can play this game probably blind. There's like maybe. I'd say there's 2 games that I can play through blind on this whole list. And that's Elden Ring and Resident Evil 7. Those are the only 2 games that I can get through completely blind. Like Dark Souls might get close. I could probably get to Ornstein and Smough blind. Not literally blind, but you know what I mean. But yeah, and those are like currently my top 50 games that I've ever played. As I said, there are some games, you know, you can change out here and there. There's some games that will definitely be in the top 100. You know, if I look at this list, we've got, you know, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas. The third one wouldn't make it on my top 100. I don't like Fallout 3, which is a hard take. But like, let's look at some of these games. Dark Souls 3 would make it in the top 100. Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, which is the game before this, would get in there. Probably the first Infamous would get in there. As I said, Resident Evil. Which one is the one that's missing? Oh, Village. The 8. Resident Evil 8 would make it on here. Dragon Age Inquisition would make it on here. Mass Effect 1 would make it in the top 100. Wait, what? Oh, just didn't see it over there. Which I haven't played the second and the first one. I own both of them, but I haven't played them just yet. I'm waiting for the series for that. Arkham Knight, I still need to play. Marvel Spider-Man 2 would actually make it, and Ragnarok would make it in the top 100 as well. Uncharted 2 and 4 would make it in my top 100. Assassin's Creed, believe it or not, the third one would actually make it in the top 100 as well. Oblivion, Skyrim, yeah, nothing else would make it. San Andreas and GTA 5 would make it in the top 100. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 would make it in my top 100. Star Wars Battlefront 1, the OG one, would make it in there. Saints Row, I love the fourth one, right? Saints Row 4. But I think it's so stupid at the same time. But I honestly, gameplay-wise, I think it's so fun to play. It would maybe make it to like the real bottom of the top 100. Yeah, Pokemon, there would be some other Pokemon games in there as well, for me personally. Sons of the Forest, maybe, I don't know if it would make it in my top 100. When it comes to wrestling games, as I said, like SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth would make it in there. And Here Comes the Pain would also make it in there. Divinity Original Sin would make it in there if we're talking about games that I covered on the best RPG. Is there anything else in the best RPG that we covered that would make it in there? Monster Hunter Stories? Nah, I don't think so. I don't like it that much. Yeah, I don't know. I would revisit this again, as I said, after a bit. Top 100 is a lot though. Dude, I was scraping. I was scraping through games. And then like I got the 50 together and then I realized, oh yeah, there's also this game that I would love to put on there. As I said, it's like then you have to like cherry pick games. Like I could also put an Uncharted 2 on here. I could put Uncharted 4 on here easily. And like top 100, I'd get to like, you know, we've got the 50 now. Maybe I'll get to like 70, maybe 80, and then I'll be like, okay, now it's like 20 games. Now I need to like pull them out of my hat. And it's gonna be like Pokemon Red, Pokemon Black and White, Pokemon Emerald. I haven't played Emerald. You know, I'd just be starting to be like, okay, Dragon Age 2. You know, when I'm openly saying that I didn't enjoy Dragon Age 2 as much. And now I'm just like the goofball who's sitting here saying, oh, actually, it is in my top 100, but only because my idiot ass couldn't find any other games. I want to make a list. I want to make a list for the RPGs as well. That we can collect like the best RPG games in. Now that's too many spaces, let's be honest. Maybe we need 80 at most. Yeah, we can already put some of the stuff in as it is. And we can like keep this up while doing the best RPG games. And we can continue updating this. Photo. That's what we go after. I wouldn't do like a best RPG list again because I have played a lot, but haven't played nearly enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna Persona 6, Yannick. What world are we living in? Not gonna happen. They're gonna milk Persona 5 till it's dead. Over and over again because the Phantom Thieves are so popular. It's just also got a goated soundtrack. Dude, I can listen to like the soundtrack of Persona 5 just in my free time. It's such a good one. Can I tell you Lies of P's story? So basically, Lies of P is based on Pinocchio, on Pinocchio's story. So you're basically technically playing Pinocchio, and that's why it's called Lies of P. Because it's about lying. Because lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off. No, it's a Souls-like, and it's in you basically wake up as this puppet, and there's a world, and you have a bunch of other puppets, and there's this thing called the puppet frenzy, and the puppets basically went wild and killed their like humans, right? It's like a thing like the humans had puppets which worked for them, and then this frenzy happened, and most of the humans get killed by the puppets, and now you're in this world which is like in chaos with puppets going mad, and you have different humans as well, like fighting for power. You know, there's this gang of like siblings. There's also a part of it. They're also causing chaos. It's a great game, legitimately. I think story-wise, it's the best one because it's got a deep story as well, and it's got some really really sad moments, especially like if you play the game and then the DLC after it. It's so sad, but it's so freaking good, man. It's so freaking good. So I was thinking, which of these is actually Persona 3 Reload? Because some of these are just the DLC. Because if you put them in there, yeah, this is like the female MC. It's this. 'Cause it says it on the right. What game it is. Oh, that's the one. That's the original. It's a shame the Star Wars Jedi games aren't considered as RPGs. Yakuza Like a Dragon can go in here. I think Midnight Suns might be an RPG. I'm actually not sure if it's considered an RPG. Just gonna put it in there for now. Dishonored is also not considered as an RPG. The old school Assassin's Creeds are not considered RPGs. We got Oblivion. We got Skyrim. We got Ultimate Alliance, and we got Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2 on the list. Fallout 4 on the list. Yeah, it's so weird with certain games when like why some games are considered as RPGs and some are not. I don't get it. Yeah, the Star Wars Jedi games should be RPGs. But I think they're listed as action adventure games, if I remember correctly. So this would be the current chaotic state of my RPG list. I probably, like, there's a couple of more. These are just the ones that I was like thinking of off the top of my head. As I said, there's a couple more. See, that's the thing. Some of the ones that I played might not even make it into, okay, yeah. What are we at like 80? Like the Outer Worlds, sure, they can like go to the bottom down here. Oh no, that's not, no. Like the first Outer Worlds more than that one. And Ultimate Alliance isn't that bad. We'll fill this out, as I said, over time. Yeah, I think Tainted Grail deserves a space on this list. Somewhere down there for now. I'm gonna look at it real quick. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is considered as an action adventure. I don't get it why. I think it is an RPG. But it's literally, yeah, it's considered as an action adventure everywhere. Both of the games. It is what it is. But yeah, for now, this is kind of what the RPG list would look like. I don't know. I'm probably missing like a bunch of games that I've played. These are just the ones that are like off the top of my head. By the way, on Sunday we'll be looking at finishing up the duo challenge for Elden Ring that we're doing with Mark. And then he actually got me to jump back into Lords of the Fallen because we want to do a duo run of Lords of the Fallen. So we'll do that. We'll do that. So that's also gonna be something we'll be streaming. Just to catch you up, in the background currently I am playing. I'm playing through Risen, which is a RPG by the creators of Gothic. I'm playing that in the background. I'm not streaming it because I don't think it'll. It's like there's certain RPGs which wouldn't be too fun to stream, and I think Risen would be one of those. So I would, like, I'm thinking of, as I said, doing Resident Evil, which is obviously not an RPG, but I'll do Requiem as a stream game, and then I'll work on Risen in the background, kind of like we did, you know, with the last video where I was playing Divinity Original Sin in the background while streaming Elden Ring mainly. But I'm like, I need a break from Elden Ring because almost for like the last year I was like constantly streaming Elden Ring, and guys, I need a break from playing Elden Ring. Like, I'll finish up the challenge with Mark, the challenge run, and because we only have what do we have left? We got Horaloo and Radagon and Elden Beast left, so only 2 bosses. And that's it. Then we'll have it done. And then we'll move on to bigger and better things. We'll move on to Lords of the Fallen. You know what's funny? Hogwarts Legacy is actually considered an RPG. Believe it or not. So we would put Hogwarts Legacy on this list. Because I played Hogwarts Legacy. It gets so boring though. It gets so boring so fast. Like I grew up loving Harry Potter and I played Hogwarts Legacy and I played I did the Platinum Hunt for it. It's out on the channel. It's one of the few that's still out there. But I still cringe at myself while watching it. Okay, let's look at it. Is Marvel Midnight Sun an RPG? It is an RPG. Okay. I mean, Neo can also be put on this list. But I also didn't really enjoy Neo that much. Is GTA San Andreas considered an RPG? Because it does have role-playing mechanics. It is not. Oh, what? Technically, God of War 2018 is considered an RPG. Wait, is it though? Is God of War? According to PSN profiles, God of War is an RPG. Wait, there's no way. I mean, it actually, to me, it is an RPG in my head. But I always thought people would say it's like an action-adventure game as well. But it's got, like, Google lists it as an RPG. PSN profiles list it as an RPG. What does IMDb say? Does IMDb say it's an RPG as well? IMDb is always such a weird page to look at. But IMDb is really good for finding out the casts of video games. Well, drama and fantasy, yeah. Doesn't work with typical gaming genres. What does Steam say? What does Steam say? Steam has it as a game. Forgot that happened. So Steam says it's... to Steam it's an action... It's like an action adventure as well. It's not an RPG according to Steam. But the second one is. Some of them can be considered. Yeah, that's always the thing. That was the problem, or that is the problem with having, you know, with talking about RPGs. It's the question of what do people actually consider as RPGs? Because RPGs can be so many things. Like, is Persona 5 Strikers an RPG as well? It is. It was also more of a, I don't know. Is it a beat 'em up? No, I liked it more than Outer Worlds too. Yeah. Because if I'm correct, it doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense? Oh, how they're split. Yeah, I think Yakuza, like the old school, the old school Yakuza games are also considered as RPGs for some reason. If I look at Yakuza Kiwami, which is the remake of the first one, this one, it is also considered as an RPG. Make it make sense. BioShock also considered an RPG? Probably not, right? No, it is also considered an RPG. But I didn't finish BioShock, so it is what it is. Yeah, just RPG, the definition of RPG doesn't make sense. Because technically Borderlands would be considered an RPG as well. If you think about it. They would also be RPGs. Like, for example, PSN Profiles, which is the one where you can track like trophies. That is considered as, yeah, it's an action RPG. So Borderlands as a series is also apparently eligible for the RPG. Who would have figured that one out? Borderlands 2, definitely. Like, Borderlands 2 I actually really, really liked. Like, all of the other ones. I think the first one was really good. I didn't play 3 and 4. Because to me, this was the end of it, the pre-sequel. Dude, that's like the bottom here. That's literally the bottom. I didn't like that at all. Is Assassin's Creed Black Flag, is that already an RPG? No. And then you have Dishonored, and Dishonored is not considered an RPG. It's so stupid. Doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it is what it is, man. Try to make sense of the RPG tag. It's so here and there. I'll be honest with you, another game that I think would make it into my top 100 has to be Skate 3. And Skate 3 was such a big part of my childhood. And Max Payne 3. Dude, Max Payne 3 was so cool. I love that game. I love these games. But yeah, I think that's kind of all of the RPGs for now that I can like come up with or think about. I mean, yeah, we would have to include Fallout 3 when it comes to RPGs here. Obviously. I would get so much shit from people just because I've put Fallout 3 so far down the list. Dude, I think even Dark Souls 3 deserves a higher spot than the Outer Worlds 2. Or would I play Outer Worlds or Fallout 3? Dude, that is the question, but I think I would rather play Outer Worlds 2. That would piss off a lot of people. Yeah, there's a lot of personal preference in here. I mean, Neo technically can go to the end because I never ended up finishing it because I just got bored as shit playing it. I mean, this obviously isn't the full list yet. This will continue growing and evolving over the time that we'll play more and more RPGs. That's my tier list. That is true. That is true. But yeah, it'll evolve over the time. The more games we'll play, the more it'll probably change. But yeah, so to quickly catch you up, guys, I won't be streaming tomorrow, because I got like a 10-hour day at work again, and I might head over to the hospital to check on my grandma because she's in the hospital right now because she got a new hip so she can walk again. And I haven't had the time this week to like go to the hospital or like the power in my body because I was just flipping tired all week long. But yeah, that was kind of, well, was more than just my top 50 games. Also set up a list for the RPGs that we can fill out whenever we're playing a game. But yeah, dude. I mean, so far it seems to be fine. I mean, obviously it's some getting used to. You know, you got a body part in you that didn't belong to you before. But yeah, I think it'll all be fine. And again, I hope that it'll actually help her and she can go back to walking like before. Because she did struggle a lot. Like, she barely got to go out of her home. It was mainly just my dad and my uncle that had to like go shopping for her. And the crazy thing as well is like a couple of months ago, my uncle also had a stroke, so he's also not allowed to like drive the car or anything. So at this point, my dad just has to take them when they're visiting my grandma. So yeah, it's a messy time in my life off of stream. There's so much shit going on. And, like, dude, ever since like November last year, it's been a roller coaster ride. I'll be honest with you, like personal life, like things around me, people around me. There's been a lot of things happening, and it's been something. It's been something. But yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I'll take a break whenever I need one. I mean, we've done it a couple of times, and it's been an up and down, but thankfully I myself am quite healthy at the moment. I've been having some massive back issues actually the last couple of days. It's been especially bad at work because like I work for like 6 hours maybe, and then my legs and my back just hurt like shit. But it might just be the case that I need some new shoes, because my old ones are like worn out because I don't know. I take like multiple thousands of steps at work. I mean, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but I take a lot of steps at work, so there's that. But yeah. As I said, we'll do the duo challenge back on Sunday, which obviously is gonna be in Alemán, which means in German, in Spanish. And then we'll see if when we start Resident Evil Requiem, we'll probably start it next week, I think. Yeah. And then do that, as I said, as the project, because I think horror games always work well for streams. Probably most enjoyable for you guys. Watch me maybe get scared, who knows? I haven't played a horror game in God knows how long. I'll probably have nightmares after. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. We'll finish that challenge, maybe start Lords of the Fallen back up again. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And in the background, as I said, we'll be working away at the next episode of the Best RPG, which will be on Risen. After Risen, the game that's after Risen will be streamed live, because we're going to be streaming on PlayStation and we'll be playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. That's the plan, at least. Because I really want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance, because I never played it. And I want to play the second one, but to play the second one, I need to play the first one, so I need to do that. And since there's not really any RPGs coming out right now that are like at the top of my list, I know I said it before that I want to play Divinity, but I really want to play Kingdom Come Deliverance. So that's probably going to be next. Or maybe I'll just give in and play Divinity Original Sin 2. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. I gotta go back to grinding out Risen though off of stream now, which is a pain because it's such a flipping hard game, dude. I forgot how difficult these old Piranha Bytes games are. Dude, like Gothic. Like, Gothic's remake is also coming out this year, so I'm looking forward to playing that. Hopefully it's good. Dude, I hope if the Gothic remake works the exact same way as original Gothic 1, dude, people are gonna complain so much. Because these games, they're so difficult to get into. Because at the start, they're actually really, really hard. Because they make you feel like you're just a piece of trash. Like you can do nothing. And you literally aren't able to do anything. So yeah, it's great. I love it. I love being beaten to a pulp. Just the first little wolf enemy you see in the game. Because I can't do anything. But we'll talk about that when the video comes out. And as I said, that actually makes me excited for Gothic's remake. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for this stream. Just wanted to rank my video games that I've played. Talk about some stuff that's coming up. Because I didn't really have the chance to stream with recording the end of Divinity and then editing the Divinity video for like 2 days straight. I need to get an editor at some point. Anyways, yeah, that's about it for today, guys. So I hope all of you have a beautiful rest of your day. Good night, whatever time it is for you. Thank you for checking by. The video was great, though. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. Even though I'm a bit self-conscious when it comes to that, and I can't hype up my own videos that much. But yeah, you guys have a good day as well, and I'll see you on Sunday for the Elden Ring challenge. Ow, my knee. Just stretched my knee. Ow, I'm old. Get me to an old folks home. Can't work. I'll just be old and play video games all day. Anyways, yeah. We'll start Resident Evil next week, so if you're not there for the German streams because you're not German, I'll see you next week for Resident Evil. I know I'm an unk, and on that note, we'll end it. Stop old shaming me.